Hey, what is going on, Twintendo Nation? Hope you're having an awesome day. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, a little bit fun, since there isn't too much to talk about Animal Crossing New Horizons in terms of new things. We're going to be going over my top 10 favourite villagers of all time, who I basically want on my island for Animal Crossing New Horizons. Now, I was actually going to do this video a bit later down the line, but I made a community post a couple of weeks ago asking, what kind of Animal Crossing New Horizons videos would you guys like? And a few of you suggested this. Obviously, I was already going to make this video, so I thought I'll just put it out sooner. So, obviously there are so many villages to pick from. As of right now, before even Animal Crossing New Horizons comes out, there are 472 villages. Of course, I can only really talk about the ones that I know, that have come to my town in the past. So obviously, it's definitely not going to be me choosing out 400, but mainly out of 30 or 40 villages. So if your favourite one isn't here, it's probably not because I don't like it. It's just because I've not had any experience with them in my past Animal Crossing games. So guys, let me know in the comments below who your favourite villages are. There is no right or wrong answer. This is just my personal choice, of course. And if you do enjoy today's video and you want to see more videos like this of Animal Crossing, make sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe to stay up to date with everything Animal Crossing New Horizons. So starting us off is actually a villager I've never even had in my town in any Animal Crossing game, but it was my brother's favourite Animal Crossing villager, and I got to see him quite a bit in his town, and this is Punchy the cat, probably one of the most famous villagers actually in the Animal Crossing games. So Punchy actually features in the box art for Animal Crossing on GameCube. He's in one of the windows of the houses, and there's an interesting fact about Punchy. So if you guys didn't know, I'm assuming a lot of you Animal Crossing fans will know that Animal Crossing originally appeared on the Nintendo 64 back in Japan. It was Japan exclusive, and then they released kind of like an expanded version on the GameCube, which eventually would obviously come west with Animal Crossing. But Punchy was the only non-islander, and basically there were some new villagers who actually only appeared on an island just outside of your town. But Punchy was the only new character who could actually appear in your town, which is kind of interesting. And even though I've never had Punchy, I've always loved him. He's always been really polite, just funny. He's also a lazy personality, which actually you'll see on this list, a lot of these people are lazy types. I kind of like every single person in Animal Crossing. It's just funny that a lot of the villagers I get are lazy personalities. But yeah, Punchy, never had him, but obviously because I met him quite a bit in my brother's town, definitely one of my favourites. Next on my list is someone I actually only got to meet in Animal Crossing New Leaf, and this is Ed the horse. Now, there's a few interesting facts about Ed. He used to be a jock villager, which is obviously the sporty type of villager, but for some reason he didn't appear in Animal Crossing Wild World, came back City Folk, and then he got the new personality type, which is smug. And yeah, Ed was just always super chill. In fact, I always thought he was kind of a lazy type of villager, but in fact no, he is a smug villager, and he was just really polite and just always friendly, but he did think quite highly of himself, which is obviously what that personality is all about. Now, unlike some of the others on this list, Ed is probably the newest one I've got to know from Animal Crossing New Leaf, because obviously I've been playing Animal Crossing since like 2005, 2006 with Wild World. But yeah, Ed was really nice to get to know. Never had a problem with him, always looked forward to seeing the guy in my town, and I think he's a really cool villager. Would definitely like to see him again for my island in Animal Crossing New Horizons. Coming in at number 8 is another horse villager, but unlike Ed, I've had a bit more experience with this villager. This is Roscoe, who I first met probably actually in Wild World, but I definitely got to know more in City Folk. Definitely got to know him a bit more then. He is a cranky type of villager. I used to hate cranky villagers, never ever liked them, and I was like, oh great, we got Roscoe, really didn't want him. And then I just started talking to him, and I actually thought, I've kind of misunderstood him. He's actually alright. He kind of treats your character as like his only friend, which honestly I didn't mind, because I felt like some of the villagers don't really interact like friends anyway. And I thought Roscoe was just super sound, had a really cool room. And then I got him on New Leaf, and I was like, oh, I had Roscoe in City Folk. And this was like probably like 3 years without playing that game. I kind of forgot what he was like, and actually even liked him even more in New Leaf. I was really just always happy to see him, a bit more than Ed. In fact, I got on with Roscoe a bit more than Ed, even though I liked them both. And yeah, they would just always kind of be chatting, I'd always join in. And yeah, Roscoe was a bit more friendly in New Leaf, as I said. I would definitely like him back in Animal Crossing New Horizons. I think his design is very, very cool. And yeah, I just think he is a very, very good, probably my only cranky villager that I actually like in Animal Crossing. Coming in at number 7 is a very interesting villager who I had in my Animal Crossing Wild World town. Still do, but they moved in around a year after I started playing. And this is Lucky the lazy dog. A very weird villager, because I always thought he was like a mummy dog, since he was like wrapped in bandages, and then if you look at his room, it's all like Egyptian styled, and then his amiibo card even makes it look like he's walking like a mummy. But interestingly, he's wearing a full body cast, and according to his e-card bio from the older Animal Crossing games, it says Lucky supposedly gained a body cast while fishing after casting his line too far and causing a chain of harmful events to occur. I never even knew that. I'm assuming some of you guys watching this who have maybe never heard of Lucky or have had Lucky might not have known this as well. I think that's quite interesting. But yeah, Lucky the dog, again, I just like lazy villagers. They're always really just polite, kind, and just good fun to talk to because they talk about food, you know? Who don't love food? I've had loads of lazy villagers come and go from my town, some that I liked and I was sad that left. Lucky's just always, luckily for me, no pun intended, just stuck around in my village, and I really hope to see him return for my island in Animal Crossing New Horizons. Next up at number 6 is, for me, a legendary villager. This is a villager who has appeared in every single Animal Crossing game, including the ones on Nintendo 64, and even in the Animal Crossing movie. This is Alfonzo, the lazy alligator, and I absolutely love this guy. He has been in my Wild World town for, God, over 10 years, probably like 12, 13 years. I really liked his design. I think it was the first alligator villager I saw. In fact, he might be the only alligator villager I've ever had. He's just always been super friendly. Really liked asking me to get him clothes for whatever reason. I went back to Wild World, and I'll be making this video at some point, and literally his house was just filled with clothes I'd given him, and then he'd be wearing his regular Mario shirt. Like, he's a Nintendo fanboy, this guy. He has a Mario shirt, and then he says "It's a me" as his catchphrase, which is clearly a reference to Mario. I mean, maybe it's just a Mario fanboy, but you know, he likes Nintendo stuff. There's nothing bad you could say about Alfonso. Obviously, he loves Nintendo games, just a really cool villager, has great fashion sense, or at least he lets me buy him clothes, so he should have great fashion sense. Yeah, definitely up there with one of my favourite lazy type villagers. Really hope to see him return for Animal Crossing New Horizons, which I'm sure he will since he's been in every game. And I really hope he joins me on this new adventure, obviously on my brand new island. Coming in at number 5 is probably the most famous villager of all time, definitely up there with Rosie the cat, and this is Goldie the dog villager. I've absolutely loved Goldie. I grew up with a golden retriever dog myself, and I think that's one of the reasons why I just love Goldie. I never even had Goldie in my town. Again, my brother was lucky enough to get Goldie in his town, and I've just always seen Goldie as his villager, like Punchy. But because I, you know, like I said, grew up with a golden retriever, Goldie was just a very special villager for me. And she was just super sweet, super caring, and just really, really likable. Like I said, probably the most popular villager out there. She's at the start of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, where you have to like do quests for her. Yeah, she's just a very popular character who like I said, similar to Punchy, I would technically like Goldie in my town because obviously she is a very important villager for me, but because again my brother had her, you know, all the time in Wild World, it would feel a bit weird having her in my island as well. But yeah, we've actually seen Goldie in Animal Crossing New Horizons so far. I think this is the first one on the list that we've been talking about that we have seen footage of so far. So Alicia is in the game, of course she was going to be in, but yeah, Goldie, definitely one of my favourites, and I'm assuming some of you guys watching will have Goldie as one of their favourite villagers. Let me know in the comments below if Goldie is one of your favourite villagers, because definitely is one of my favourites for sure. Up next is a villager who actually made their debut in Animal Crossing New Leaf. So unlike some of these on the list where I've got a lot of nostalgia and a lot of love from Wild World, this villager is actually one of the only ones from Animal Crossing New Leaf that I really, really fell in love with, and this is Bo the Lazy Deer. I think out of all the new villagers from Animal Crossing New Leaf, Bo was definitely one of the most popular. Thankfully got him very early on, and like I said, I just really, really clicked with this guy. I really liked his design, just always friendly, and again, it's another lazy type villager. I don't know what it is, I always get the lazy type villagers, and I always seem to really, really like them. I don't know, I just really, really like to see him return to my island for Animal Crossing New Horizons. Not much to be said about Bo. I've kind of talked about lazy villagers as much as I can, but he's just one of my favourites for sure. Don't know why, I think it might be his design and just kind of the conversations we've had in the past, but just really, really like the guy. Coming in at number 3, you'll be glad to know this is the last lazy villager that will be appearing on this list. Again, like, I don't know why they're mainly lazy villagers, but yeah, this is Dizzy the elephant. Now, if you watch, I can't remember which Animal Crossing YouTube video I mentioned this on, but unfortunately, I had Dizzy pretty much from the get-go in Animal Crossing Wild World. So basically, when I booted up the game, I loved this guy. He was one of my favourite villagers, and then I learned about time traveling, and as we all do, I just skipped without thinking of the consequences, and unfortunately Dizzy moved away and was never seen again. I tried to get him back so many times, and unfortunately it never happened. Now I did get an amiibo card and added him in New Leaf, but I kind of felt like playing God. I felt like I've not really earned Dizzy, so I've not really actually talked to him too much on New Leaf. But yeah, Dizzy is definitely one of my favourite Animal Crossing villagers for sure. It makes him all the more important, the fact that I lost him and never really got him back. In fact, I love Dizzy so much, I'll have to find this eventually and take a picture, but we made like cushions in textiles class, and we got to pick a design, and for some reason I chose Dizzy, like just the head of Dizzy for the cushion design. So yeah, this is when I was like really playing Animal Crossing Wild World. I think I must have had Dizzy in my town back then still. So yeah, I'll have to fish that out at some point and find it and show you guys. But yeah, Dizzy is one of my favourites, but not like my number 1 or 2, as you'll find out. Coming in at number 2 is a villager that could have easily been my number 1 choice. These last 2 villagers are basically probably my favourite, joint favourite, but I had to make a decision somewhere, and they've been in my Animal Crossing Wild World game since the start, since the first year at least. They moved in pretty quickly and they're still there to this day. But this first one is Roald the Penguin. I love Roald so much. He has actually left once, he left my village once, and thankfully I got him back. Because luckily if you did like connect with a friend and they had a spare slot, they would move to your friend's village, and luckily yeah, I just got them to move back to my village. Roald, I just absolutely love this guy. He is just one of my favourites. He is a jock villager, and we just always kind of hung out and talked about sports. And yeah, I don't know what it is about Roald. I just always look forward to seeing him. Just always made a fuss of me. And yeah, probably I think he's the only jock villager on this list. I mean, we know we've had so many lazy villagers, but yeah, Roald is definitely my favourite jock villager. Definitely, probably my favourite villager. But obviously there is going to be the number 1 choice, which is kind of just edges ahead. But Roald is someone who we've actually seen in gameplay for Animal Crossing New Horizons. I freaked out when I saw him. I'm just so glad he's back. I just desperately want Roald back on my island for Animal Crossing New Horizons. Let me know if any of you guys like Roald as well, because I'm sure there are some of you guys watching this who love this guy just as much as me. And coming in at number 1, just beating Roald, is Savanna. I had Savanna very early on in Animal Crossing Wild World, and she was probably just the nicest villager I've ever met. I've always got on with her, and when she actually moved out my village, and I was so upset. And thankfully, just like Roald, I managed to get her back, and she stayed since. And yeah, she is like the nicest villager, like I said, I've ever had. And then I got her in City Folk, thankfully. It took me a while to get Savanna, but again, I made sure she stayed in that one, and she was kind of like the only one. Her and Roscoe were like the only 2 I really liked in that village. And then I didn't really get her in New Leaf. I kept moving villagers out, trying to get Roald, Dizzy, and Savanna. It never really happened, so eventually I just got her amiibo card and brought her back. But yeah, Savanna is, Savanna and Roald, they are the 2 villagers, and Dizzy of course, I really want from the start in Animal Crossing New Horizons. But yeah, I don't know, I do like the randomness of villagers. I'm sure I'm going to see some new villagers that I've never really had before that I'm going to love in Animal Crossing New Horizons. But yeah, those are my top 10 villagers I really want in Animal Crossing New Horizons. Let me know in the comments which villagers you'd like to see return to your island. And yeah, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to hit the like button down below. It shows me that you really like these kind of videos and you'd like to see more of them. If you want to stay up to date with everything Animal Crossing New Horizons, you're in the right place, and make sure to hit the subscribe button down below to become a part of the Twintendo Nation. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you on the next video. Peace!